Thanks for staying with us on Point. Nedbank Group announced its results for the first half of 2020 today. Its headline earnings declined 69.2% to 2.1 billion rand. Impairments are up 202%. The bank says it provided payment relief to over 375,000 clients, amounting to about 119 billion rand in loans. Let's get more on this. I'm joined by Ciko Thomas. He's the Group Managing Executive at Retail and Business Banking. Ciko, thanks so much for your time on SABC News today. So what would you say that decline was driven by?
Good afternoon, Zinga. There's a big impairment factor in our numbers. You touched on the fact that our impairments grew by 202% in this reporting period, which is not an insubstantial number given the climate that we're in. But we understand that it's a function of an economy that's in slowdown, and it's a big factor in our numbers. So it's a big driver. A big driver has been the absolute impairment charge in the number and the slowdown in transactional activity during lockdown as well, which has impacted our revenue lines.
Okay, let's talk more about that environment that the bank is operating in the retail and business banking sector specifically. Nedbank provided about 78 billion rand in payment relief. Talk to us about that.
So we provided that amount of payment relief. We actually issued some 503 million rands worth of loans to SMMEs as part of the SMME relief program, as part of the assistance. But also we did a lot of rearrangements of payment holidays and restructuring of loans, both to individual and business clients in RBB. So a big factor in that was a part of obviously providing payment relief to clients via payment holidays all the way up to the end of June. But also we continue to engage our clients and restructure holidays and look at arranging payment holidays even at this present time to the extent that the environment requires owners of businesses as well as individuals to request such assistance from the bank.
Mm-hmm. We know that COVID is bringing about lots of unpredictable factors. Nedbank, we know, has got a market cap of about 56 billion rand and is operating in an environment where our GDP best case scenario, and what you're saying, is going to contract by at least 7%. Your return on equity has declined. You're speaking about those customers that are in distress. But it seems as though you are quite optimistic. The word resilient kept on coming out when you were talking about your results in that statement that was released earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, I think the banking system in South Africa overall is resilient. You saw our CET ratio was at 10.6% with good overall liquidity. There was a big focus on the balance sheet in the first 6 months of the year, given the environment that we're doing business in, to ensure liquidity and integrity of the balance sheet and ensure that levels of capital adequacy are maintained in the business. So that was a big focus of what we call the resilient phase. And it's not just a Nedbank story, actually. Even the banks that have reported before us spoke to similar themes. And as a consequence of that, we do believe that the banking system in South Africa remains strong, competitive, as well as robust to withstand storms in a climate where we don't quite believe that a lot will change. I mean, I think that this economy will be challenged. We've done our GDP forecast for the second quarter, and we believe that it's going to be a challenging scenario. We predicted levels of around north of 35% contraction for the second quarter in GDP growth, which is incredibly challenging. So I think in spite of that, however, we do believe that we've got a robust bank and overall actually a fairly robust banking system in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Ciko Thomas, he's the Group Managing Executive for Retail and Business Banking from Nedbank. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News this afternoon.